Hi there, this is Steve. I'd like to do a quick video on simulated data feed for testing ATM or testing anything for that matter. So first and foremost is when you connect, you have to disconnect from any other things that you might have in there. This is NinjaTrader 8, by the way. So you want to go to simulated data feed. And I'm going to go ahead and create a chart. So I'm going to go to new, chart, let's do NASDAQ. I'll just do a quick tick chart. Default, simple. And you also get the little volume control here. Because you're in simulated data feed, I'll wait for the chart to paint. Here we go. I changed it to a 20 tick chart just so we could see it moving. But anyway, as I mentioned, the volume control is right here, and it'd be really nice if we could do this during the day when we wanted to. But this is good for if you want to test an ATM strategy. I'll just pick one here. Let's do runner here. I'll go into the settings later. I'm going to do a separate ATM strategy, but needless to say, if you're testing it, so let's just buy it.
Order filled.
Hold on. The discipline manager's on, so I will do it now.
Order filled.
And if you want to, by the way, if you want to get rid of these, you just right click on your chart and go to data series. Or actually you can click up here, this icon here is data series, come all the way down to the bottom, and you could say do not plot, or if you just want to see little markers like that, you'll see it. Or if you want to say do not plot at all, you could say nothing at all. Or of course if you want text and markers, there it is. Now you notice, I'm going to say this because some people don't know, if you hit apply, it will apply your screen and it'll keep this up. If you say OK, it will save your screen and go away. So obviously I'm just going to say OK. I haven't nothing to save, but needless to say. Okay, so in this case, I want to, my trail stop is going to be there. So I'm going to let it run and I want to see how many ticks. I forget which one this one's set for. It might be set for quite a bit, so I'll make this go full speed, which it is. But once it starts cranking away, NinjaTrader has a nice little cha-ching in there that I really love, and it will start trailing. And then you can see if it's going to be too tight for you or how far you want it to go as far as your ATM is concerned. And since YouTube has gotten so inundated with ads, I might as well take this opportunity while we're waiting for the market to stick my ad in there. If you need to get a hold of me or want to check out my webpage, feel free to pause this and write down any information that you might want to look at, and then unpause it and continue. So that's my ad. Short, sweet, simple. Okay. Maybe my indicator or my ATM. Okay, it's going to go to profit. Okay, it's got to go to 80 ticks profit target. So let's give it a little while. Pause. Okay, hit 80 ticks. So now it's starting to trail. Now you can see, and again, it depends on the market and what you're trading. But every time it goes up, let's go look at the settings. This is the stop strategy. It's going to give a 44 tick stop. It's going to do it every single tick. Oh, right here, it hit the first initial target of 60. I'm sorry. So it showed a negative 10. So it's 10 ticks underneath my initial stop is where I'm going to, so in case it comes back, which it normally does. Of course, this is stimulated data feed, so it's not going to, but you can set it wherever you want. Now it's at 80 and it's 44. Every single time it's going to move up 44 ticks from where it's at. Every single, you could change that to every 2 ticks, 10 ticks, whatever you want, but I like one. I like to hear the cha-ching. When it gets to 160 ticks, I'm going to tighten it up a little bit only because I don't want to give any back when it runs that much. It's due. And same thing if it goes to 240 ticks. Now this is set up for NASDAQ. You can see right there I have it titled in the NASDAQ. So in any event, when it hits 240, then I'm going to really tighten it up because it's due for a pullback. And those are just my settings. But again, you have to play with them yourself. And this is a way to test it. And if you want to see what's going to happen when you return, We'll just stretch this in the negative, and of course you could pull it up yourself manually. You could do whatever you want to do manually, but needless to say, that's what it is. So I'm going to pause this here for that. Okay, so I got out of that one. I'm going to change things here really quick for some people who don't know colors and whatnot. I'm going to make this very quick. But in any event, if you want to change a chart trader, I trade off the chart. I don't use the DOM at all, so I'm not very versed at that one. I know about it, but I just don't like it. I like to be able to see it and say, oh, I want to put my order right here. So I could say right click and then buy limit if I want to wait for it to get there. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just say buy stop and I'll trail it and I'll have it come down. And then once it gets to my area, I might, but I'm waiting for it because sometimes it might go down a little further. And so that's the difference between the market. A lot of times you put a market order in by limit, and it just, you think you're trying to stop a freight train, and here you go. So here's your stop. Of course, I'll just bring that up, just get it, and it just blows right through your stop. So without having a big stop. So that's why I kind of like just trailing that down. And then eventually, we might just get to the point like, you know what, it's too far down. I'm going to cancel it. But sorry about that. But let's assume it doesn't. So let's say I'm waiting for the buy stop. It's getting to my area. Now, of course, we'll come over here and we'll turn the market, which is really nice to do. So now it's getting my area, and only if it goes in my direction will I then jump in on it. Now, of course, you're giving up some ticks there, which is, that's nature of the beast. But now you've got a pivot, and I'll put my stop underneath that pivot. And if it comes back down and pops me out, depending on where it's at or what lines are there, I might put it under these pivots down here. Again, this is simulated data feed, so this is just gibberish, doesn't mean anything. But you might want to put it under here. But now that it's gotten far enough away, I would put my stop there. In any event, so that's that. So let's close that out. So let's say you want to change these colors. So in this, so the chart trader, that's on. If you want to hide it, you can get away. Turn it back on. If you want to change this color, you right click in here, go to properties, and I have mine set for the cyan. There's another mode there for keeping strategies together, keeping your orders together, because I like them grouped together. But you could change your colors in here, and you, again, play around with it. That's what you could do. A little correction on this color. If you go to the properties, and I changed, these are the buttons here. If you want to change the buttons, I think I was referring to originally. Yeah, I don't like that. Hold on, I gotta change it back. I don't even know what I had it on anymore. Anyway, I'm not going to save this, so who cares? But this right here for simulators, if you want to change that color, is what I was talking about. Go to Tools, then Options, Trading, Simulator, right here. This right here. If you want to change this color, is what I like to see it so it's sim, so it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb and says, oh yeah, that's a sim order. You can change it whatever you want. Anyway, that's how you change that one. Stretching this way if you want it wider, tighter. It's kind of obvious. What were some of the other questions that I had? Hold on. Okay. Maybe this is a good time to talk about the accounts. As you mentioned, or as somebody had mentioned, I have a lot of sim accounts. These are for different bots that I might have on, and I want to test them. So rather than just sticking it under, one person was saying they had them under sim, and so you would go here and you'd put it under sim, which is all great. But now you have multiple charts and they're all under sim, and at the end of the day you're trying to figure out, which ones did what, which chart did what, because it's all one account. Well, there's a way to do that. You can go into New, Trade Performance, and I'll just blow it up. You can go into trade performance, and then you could pick your thing here, pick your time frame. You can come down to here, scroll down. Let's say we only want to see NASDAQ, generate that, and there's your stats. I guess I can get rid of that little thing. Here's your stats for that particular market. But that's too complicated. I frankly don't like that. What I would prefer to do is just have different accounts for different things. So a way to do that is to just right click into your accounts. By the way, this is your control panel, and you have orders, executions, strategies, positions, and account. These are the current positions. We're obviously in none. If I bought something, you would be able to see where it's at. I did that. My manager is working, so it took it off right away. So there it is. And close it. But under accounts. So here's all your accounts. So right click, add simulated account. It's going to default to account 1, 2, 3 or whatever, but title it. If you're testing GC, or let's say a micro GC, and you're going to test it on a 3-minute chart, and you're going to test it with a 20 moving average, whatever, just title it what it is. And then commissions, if you want to track commissions, which I like, because there's a big difference between gross and net, I add my commissions in there. And I could do another video on that, or I could pause this and get to that in a minute. But in any event, so you create your account. Now it says here a disconnection and reconnection is required, but I have not found that to be the case. So don't get that warning, but okay. So where did I put that? What? Geez, it was micro GC right here. So let's put that on that account. So let's go find that one. It was right here. So now we're on that account, and we're gonna take some trades. And I don't know which direction I'm going anymore. Well, let's lose it. So now we lost the trade. So now we go to that account. Where is that? Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, so that must be where it's not. Oh, hold on. Let me disconnect and reconnect. So disconnect. I'll pause it. Okay, I came back in. Okay, so I guess that's why you have to disconnect and reconnect when you create an account, so it can calculate. In any event, you can see that's the trade I just put on. And so now, when you're checking your stats on any particular thing, on any particular chart, you see it right there. You go to that chart, and there's your stats. Now, one word of caution on this. At the end of market close, in my case 3:15, because I'm outside Chicago, but wherever you're at the end at 3:15, that's going to zero out. Now, of course, you'll have this cash value will stay there at your current balance, but these will all zero out for the next day. So you must take a picture of it, a snipping tool, take a snapshot, take your phone, whatever the case may be, write them down on a napkin, whatever, but they're all going to be zeroed out. And you could let this balance go. You can figure it out. Just take $100,000 and subtract it, and it'll tell you what it is too. But you won't have nets and things. So I would definitely suggest taking a copy of this so you could track it in your journal. If you want to reset for the next day, just right-click on that account, go to Edit, Reset. It will clear all your history if you want it to be cleared. Yes, and now it's back down to the initial cash is 100. It's a default. You want some more money? Give it more money. There, now you got more money. Maybe that's maxed out. Hold on, let's try it this way. Let's say you're only doing $1,000. Why did I not do that? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just went through all that setup and I didn't hit the record button. Anyway, so what I did is, recapping, I did stop strategy is 20 profit. I do not want to target at all to even plot on the screen, so I put 0 in there for the second contract. And I'll make this a stop loss of 12 for the second contract. Usually you put them together, but I'm doing that on purpose only because I want you to see how they separate. Now with the custom stop strategy, I didn't title it, but I do have my ones that I've saved as a template. So let's just go into this custom one. And you can see what I've done here. The profit target is 20. And you can leave these zeroed out. You don't need a you don't even need to do this auto break even if you don't want to, but I use it. So let's say it goes to 20, you're going to go to break even plus 1. Let's say if it gets to 30, and you could only use 2 or whatever you want. You could use just, I like 3. So you could, step 1 is when it gets to 30 profit target, it's going to show a 10. It's going to now move this from break even to 10. And then when it goes to forward, it's going to go to it's going to widen it up just by 2 extra ticks, and then 50, it's going to tighten it up to only 5 and trail very tightly and not giving up any of our money. This one here, it's going to trail every 1. You could reset that if you want to go further, but I like it to do it every tick, and it's got a nice little cha-ching that I like. I would recommend saving this, and you might want to call it runner or something like that. You see I have different ones in there that I've titled, but I'm just going to leave it. So it's going to show up as custom. It's not labeled. And then again, save the template. Now that's saving the stop strategy. Now you want to save this template. So again, you go here, and you could say two contracts, one at 12, stop is 10, and target is whatever you want to call it. Get the idea. So now I'm going to go. I'm going to hit play. Now this is market replay. I should have had it on data. Oh boy, I don't know what it's going to do here. Well, let's just see what happens. Let's slow it down. Now this is market replay, so I have absolutely no clue which way the direction's going because I'm not even looking at these charts, but let's just buy it. You can see 10 ticks. Oh, I just took one off. Boy, that fast. Let's slow this down. Well, I should have went the other way. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go sell. Okay, so 10 ticks, 12 ticks. You see I have my very first target that's going to come off. And of course you can move this. And then there's no target for the second one. We're in 2 contracts here. Yeah, well, let's just take it there. So I'm off. So now I'm down 1 time. And this one's going to trail. Now, of course, now if I were on simulated data feed, I could actually play with this to make sure it's working. But I'm in live market replay. I'm kind of covering 2 birds with 1 stone. So this is probably not the best area to do it. So let me pause.
Order filled.
Okay, I've turned off market replay and I would put it back down to simulated data feed. So now we could test this strategy that we have in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and buy it. Now you see, hold on, I'm on the wrong account again. That's a discipline manager that's kicking it off. That's another video you can watch. Go to the webpage and watch about the discipline manager. Anyway, so let's buy market. And you see my first one came off at, our stops is 10 and 12. Sometimes we'll put them together. But in that case, I kept them separate on purpose. So now our first target's going to come off at, what did we set it for? A 20. So 20 ticks is going to be there. Let's just move it down to make it quicker. And fast as I can go. And so it's going to take that one off. Now this one is going to run. Let's take a look at it. So now there's still a contract, but there's no target. There's just the stop. So, and we're going to see here that when it hits 20, remember I brought my target down on that first one, so it wasn't at 20 yet, but it's going to get to 20 in a second. And then it's going to go to break even plus 1. You can go -1 if you want to go underneath the negative, or negative. A lot of times I'll go -10 just to. But then now, okay, so that's our first step. So now once we get to 30 ticks, it's going to trail it by 10 ticks. So when it gets up here, I should have done crude. It's easy to do the math, but hold on, it'll come. I'm at super CV fast, so. And then you'll see for it, and you'll just see how. And I really like the cha-ching area, and it's good. It's because if you get involved, you're on the phone or something, you hear cha-ching, and you need to look and see what's going on. Gotta love it. especially when NASDAQ goes. All right, so now you see when it gets to 50, it's going to tighten it up to 5 ticks. It's going to put it like really tight. And you know, if you want to manually change that, you can if you change your mind during midstream. But you know, this is just in case you're getting coffee or something and something takes off. And then it'll just keep going until eventually it reverses. And I'm just waiting for it to get to the 5 tick area. That F is format or fixed, and just so that way you could shrink it down. If you hold control and move it around, you can go this way. If you want to blow it up, control down, or if you want to put it back to the format or fixed area. There you go. So now you see I'm trailing very tightly. That's what. And now we're done. Now we've maxed out. That only gives you 3 options, and it'd be nice if I had more, but it only gives you the 3. So as soon as market turns on you, again, you could move that down if you wanted to, whatever. But there it is. So much. Anyway, you see these wicks right here? Another thing somebody asked me about, these wicks. Let me see if I can blow them up. I can't really. I have mine set for 2. I think this under data management or right-click data management under chart style wicks. I have mine set for 2 because I don't like the big wick. But I think the default is 3, and you could see how it's thicker. And I don't like that, so I'm going to go to 2. I'll just say OK because that will apply and go away. And there it is. So that's how I have that. Okay. Oh, time for another commercial. How about that? YouTube. If you need to get a hold of me, if you have any information, feel free. Give me a call or email me. Probably the easiest way to do it. Pause this and write it down, etc. If you want to join our, I have a Skype group. Just a few people in there. There's not many, but just traders, like-minded people, chit-chat. That's my commercial. All right, I think I'm done with this one. I'm trying to keep it tight. Any other questions, just email me, let me know, and if I get a lot of them, I'll just do a video on. They're easy to do, and I kind of like doing them. Okay, that's pretty much all I got. Bye.